is AOC, theater child, getting ready to perform her greatest number yet.
I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
Here is Rashida Tlaib getting very, very mad.
The GOP is now doing what it is best at. Weaponizing hate against a black, beautiful Muslim woman.
Oh, give me a...
Congresswoman Omar's lived experience as a refugee and a child of survivor of war should be welcomed on this committee. It is needed. When you can't pass any bills that actually improve the people's lives, they turn to Congress. They turn Congress into a place of fear-mongering hate.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Congresswoman Omar, I am so sorry,
has expired.
that our country is failing you today. Chamber.
Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable. It is Congresswoman Omar who has been harassed at her job for simply existing as a Muslim woman in Congress. It is she who has been attacked by a member of this body, ridiculing her as a potential terrorist for simply existing as a Muslim woman in this Congress.
Representative Gregory Meeks, he tried to do the same thing. He says they're removing her because she's black and a Muslim. That's really what this is about. Again, no, they're removing her because she is a vicious anti-Semite. This is not all that difficult.
A blatant double standard is being applied here. Something just doesn't add up. And what is the difference between Rep. Omar and these members? Could it be the way that she looks?
Time is expired.
Could it be her religious practices?
You just heard the truth that the mainstream media is terrified to say out loud. Ben Shapiro just delivered a surgical demolition of the left's entire narrative. They want you to believe that Ilhan Omar, a congressional anti-Semite, was removed from the Foreign Affairs Committee because she is a black, beautiful Muslim woman. Shapiro exposed that lie for what it is. The pathetic defense of the political class trying to protect one of their own. He broke down Karine Jean-Pierre's talking points and a ridiculous apology from Omar herself. Smash that like button, subscribe to Talking GOP, and share this video. We need more clarity like this in our politics.
Ilhan Omar was actually condemned by members of her own party. Well, now, of course, she's been kicked off the House Foreign Affairs Committee. It is hilarious how transparent the Democrats are. So the Democrats put out a resolution this week. It was a resolution, quote, recognizing Israel as America's legitimate and democratic ally and condemning anti-Semitism. They did it this week because they wanted Ilhan Omar to sign it. So Ilhan Omar signed it so that she can now claim that she's not anti-Israel. I don't believe you, lady. I don't. And there is literally no reason to believe you at all, as in none. Okay, so the reaction by the Democrats to Ilhan Omar being kicked off of Foreign Affairs is so telling. Instead of the Democrats basically saying, okay, we understand what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We should be able to pick our own members, and that was a mistake. They can't do that because they're the ones who started this fight. Instead of doing that, they are now claiming, of course, that the American people are being disserved by not having a person who hates America's foreign policy and place in the world, a person who despises America's ally Israel, and a person who hates Jews. Instead of suggesting any reason why this person might want to change their viewpoint. Instead, it's a disservice to the American people not to have this person on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, according to the world's worst press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre.
She has apologized for her comments she made in the past. I think she was most recently did an extensive interview about this on Sunday, I believe on CNN, and has been vocal about condemning anti-Semitism as well as affirming our strong alliance and important partnership with Israel. Look, the way that we see this, it's a political stunt. Much like House Republicans' unjust removal of other leading Democrats from key committees in recent weeks, and it is a disservice to the American people.
Disservice disservice to the American people. She apologized. My ass, she apologized. She went on national TV and she said she just didn't understand that there were quote unquote tropes about Jews and money. Really? Did you not understand that? Is that the case? You have a degree in political science from a university. Do you not? You serve in Congress. Do you not? I have serious doubts about that. Like real doubts. As in, you're a liar congenitally about these particular issues. And you just lie consistently and never-endingly. Okay, so the people who are really mad were the members of the squad. And their excuse, of course, the members of the squad, is that everybody is targeting Ilhan Omar because she's black, which screams of the soft bigotry of low expectations once again. Over and over, it's the same sort of thing. Right? You're allowed to be as anti-Semitic and Jew-hating as you want, so long as you support Black Lives Matter. You're allowed to be as anti-Semitic and Jew-hating as you want, so long as you are a Marxist, a la Jeremy Corbyn or Bernie Sanders. You're allowed to scream about how the Jews are like the Nazis, so long as you are a Muslim who comes from Somalia. So here is Rashida Tlaib getting very, very mad.
The GOP is now doing what it is best at. Weaponizing hate against a black, beautiful Muslim woman.
Oh, give me a...
Congresswoman Omar's lived experience as a refugee and a child of survivor of war should be welcomed on this committee. It is needed. When you can't pass any bills that actually improve the people's lives, they turn to Congress. They turn Congress into a place of fear-mongering hate.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
To Congresswoman Omar, I am so sorry,
has
sis,
expired.
that our country is failing you today. Chamber.
That lady has a Palestinian flag right outside of her office, and she had a map in her office that literally got rid of Israel. It just had a giant post-it that said Palestine on Israel. That is Rashida Tlaib, another flaming anti-Semite inside the squad, which seems to be filled with flaming anti-Semite. But it's about she's a black, beautiful woman. Oh, really? Is that what it's about? That she's a black, beautiful woman? Is that really what it's about? Because I noticed that there are a lot of other black Congress people who didn't get kicked off their committees yesterday. Many of them are female. Maxine Waters, who is maybe the most corrupt person in Congress, was not kicked off of her committee. But Rashida Tlaib, it's about these black and beautiful. Intersectionality is not a defense to being a garbage human. It is not a defense. But for the left, it is. It is, because the intersectionality is the only thing that matters. And of course, they agree with the fact that Ilhan Omar hates Israel and hates the Jews and is anti-American in her foreign policy. And meanwhile, if you're looking at the state of the economy right now, it sort of seems like it's in a state of flux. You've got the Federal Reserve, which continues to raise the interest rates, trying to drive down the inflation rates. Hiring continues to be really, really hot. There's a new economic report out today that suggests that hiring remains unbelievably hot in January, over 500,000 jobs gained in the January report. Well, with all this, the most dramatic, it was kind of an audition, I guess, for a part for a lot of the Democrats who were getting up and defending Ilhan Omar yesterday. They were auditioning for, they're all theater kids. So they were all auditioning for a part in Annie or something. And that meant the star theater kid of all theater kids, a woman who holds her hands behind her back to suggest that she is being arrested and detained. A woman who goes to an empty parking lot and then looks into a camera wearing an all-white outfit and weeps. She got very into this. If you watch this clip with the sound off, it appears as though she is performing either Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I want the world, I want the whole world, or she is performing And I'm telling you, I'm not going from Dreamgirls. Either one is a possibility. And I am telling you, I'm not going. Okay, so here is AOC, theater kid, dancing, jumping up and down, slamming her notepad on the podium because her friend Ilhan Omar will still be serving in Congress, but will not have access to as much classified information on the Foreign Affairs Committee because she's a terrible person. And in the background, you'll see Cori Bush just nodding along, man, nodding along. By the way, this would also be deemed, if this were a white Republican congressperson doing this would be deemed cultural appropriation. There's no question about it, given the stylistic choices that AOC is making during the speech. Here is AOC, theater child, getting ready to perform her greatest number yet.
I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him. This is about about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single
Time has
apology
expired.
when my life was threatened. Thank you.
Thank you. Whoops. Oh, man. What? Amazing work there from AOC. Amazing. She didn't get the part. The part, unfortunately, went to Cori Bush. But AOC is, she's amazing. She's slamming her. I've never seen AOC quite so animated over anything except for defending her friend, the rabid anti-Semite. She makes a habit of defending rabid anti-Semites quite a lot, doesn't she? From Jeremy Corbyn to Ilhan Omar to Rashida Tlaib. If we can judge you to a certain extent by the friends you keep, if all of your friends are of a particular ilk, it does suggest something about maybe your own feelings on a particular subject. And then there was Cori Bush. So Cori Bush, the BLM congresswoman from Missouri, I call her a BLM congresswoman because that's literally how she became a congressperson. She was a very active member of BLM. She was a lead activist in the Black Lives Matter movement. She also suggests that this is all about Ilhan Omar being a black woman of Somali origin who is a Muslim. And again, the rule here is that you get, as long as you are all those things, you can basically just hate on the Jews, which is convenient.
Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable. It is Congresswoman Omar who has been harassed at her job for simply existing as a Muslim woman in Congress. It is she who has been attacked by a member of this body, ridiculing her as a potential terrorist for simply existing as a Muslim woman in this Congress.
You know what's weird is that there's another Muslim congressperson. He's named Andre Carson. He's from Indiana. Have you ever heard of him? You have not, have you? Maybe the reason you haven't heard of that Muslim congressperson is because he doesn't spend all day, every day being an anti-Semitic jackass. Maybe that would be the reason. He's not featured on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine doing that sort of stuff. Maybe that's it. But again, points to Cori Bush. That's a much more subtle performance. AOC is extremely loud. I mean, she's chewing the scenery, man. I mean, she's Patti LuPone out there. And then you got Cori Bush. And Cori Bush, you know, I don't want to say it's the most amazing performance, but she comes in a little more subtle, which, you know, if you have to cast the part, it goes to Cori Bush. There's a little bit more soul there. And a little bit more heart. And that's really what you're looking for in a theater kid. Representative Gregory Meeks, he tried to do the same thing. He says they're removing her because she's black and a Muslim. That's really what this is about. Again, no, they're removing her because she is a vicious anti-Semite. This is not all that difficult.
A blatant double standard is being applied here. Something just doesn't add up. And what is the difference between Rep. Omar and these members? Could it be the way that she looks?
Time is expired.
Could it be her religious practices?
Okay, what I love about this particular argument, and it's an argument you're going to hear in a second made by Hakeem Jeffries, which is that why are the Republicans using turnabout as fair play? If they really opposed anti-Semitism, wouldn't they keep MTG off of the committees? Okay, so first of all, MTG said a dumb thing about Jewish space lasers. She hasn't made it like the defining characteristic of her career to hate Jews. When she went to an event like a moron with Nick Fuentes, she immediately denounced Nick Fuentes and moved away from it. She hasn't been an anti-Israel rabid anti-Semite her entire career. That's been Ilhan Omar's defining characteristic in politics. Okay, so that is not a justification for MTG's comments. Also, it is worth noting here that the Democrats were like, it's a double standard. It's a double standard. They're leaving MTG and Paul Gosar and some of the worst people in Congress on these committees, and they're removing Ilhan Omar. It's because she's black. I have a question. You're now equating them, right? You are equating them. You're saying that Ilhan Omar is akin to Paul Gosar and MTG. You removed Paul Gosar and MTG from the committees when you were in charge. Why didn't you remove Ilhan Omar? Why? Could it be because she's a Democrat? And because you actually agree with those things? And it was a convenient bugbear for you? It was a convenient club for you to hit Republicans and try to suggest that anti-Semitism was exclusive to the Republican Party while the biggest anti-Semite in Congress, the two biggest, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, sit in your caucus? Alrighty, coming up.
Shapiro's point on the soft bigotry of low expectations is the undeniable, uncomfortable truth for the left. The squad is effectively arguing that because Omar is a minority, she is somehow excused from spreading age-old, vicious anti-Jewish tropes. It's despicable. And their outrage? It was a farce. Shapiro was 100% right. We watched the theatrical audition yesterday. AOC, the ultimate theater kid, was screaming, jumping, and slamming her notepad, performing her greatest number yet in defense of a rabid anti-Semite. The hypocrisy burns when you look at Rashida Tlaib, a woman who had a map in her office that literally erased the nation of Israel, claiming this is about hate against a black woman. No, Congresswoman. As Shapiro correctly stated, it's about her defining characteristic, hating Jews and hating America's foreign policy interests. The Democrats started this committee removal fight, and they protected their anti-Semites for years. Now that the GOP is applying turnabout as fair play, they are suddenly screaming racism. Thank God we have voices like Ben Shapiro to cut through the noise, call out the lies, and demand accountability for the anti-American garbage being spewed from the halls of Congress.